Can I?
And I would like to feel that if I'm paying for it, that's not responsibility.
I'd really love for you to come out when we do our information nights and really hear about directly what is in the curriculum, because I do think there's a lot of concern, and I 100% understand the concern. If you're hearing about the curriculum from different sources, there are things where you're like, oh my gosh, like, but being on education committee, having read all of the standards, the elementary standards are healthy friendships. It has nothing to do in the lower grades with intercourse. We're not encouraging sex in any means. When you get, up to the middle school level, they're talking about sexually transmitted diseases, how to avoid getting into a situation where you might become pregnant, you might have a sexually transmitted disease. It's really about education and deterrence. So I really would love for you to come out to these nights. And then if you still have follow-up questions, please approach myself, approach our director of curriculum, approach Diane, and we'd be happy to answer the questions at that point. But I think, the most productive thing would be, for you to come out, actually hear directly from us what the standards are, from the director of curriculum who's going to speak at that night about the way that those standards will be, used in our schools and implemented into the curriculum. And I don't think you're going to be scared. I think you'll feel very reassured when you hear about the actual standards and the way that Kinnelon intends to put them, because I hear what you're saying, but I don't think you need to be worried about the way that Kinnelon is going to implement it.
I understand what they say and how they describe what they're teaching. That's not what's coming out. That's not what's coming out. And I'm not an alarmist, but just looking at this, it's really important. I always some of the things that are said, and I know it's there, is to the extent that I think it's maybe not, because they're recording one, okay? So yeah, but it's still.
Yeah, I'd love for you to just come out and hear about it, and then, ask us follow-up questions at that point.
Not necessarily what happened in the school, and what I would like to see, what was taken to me, I would like to see, I would go for it. Only way to know. Only way to know. It doesn't have to be something that's obvious or something like that, a little order or something like that.
That's not legal.
That's violation of privacy for the students in the classrooms.
Yes, it's a violation of student privacy. Yeah. Well, the teacher moves around. There's, yeah. And by the way, it's, yeah. Good.
Yes, ma'am. It was an emergency, yes. I thank you very much for coming out and sharing your thoughts. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good night. Are there any other comments?
Probably after it's written. Yeah. Thank you.
Can I ask a follow-up on that? What's the timeline? I don't know if you.
Yeah, Jean just asked that. So initially, it was supposed to be implemented in September of 2022. They pushed it off a year just because of COVID and then all the other stuff that teachers and students and administrators were dealing with. They kept the timeline for September 2023 for implementation. So the next thing we're struggling with is that with all of the commotion around the standards, our teachers do not want to be involved in writing this curriculum. So that's our next hurdle, to find someone who will write it for us in that, because our teachers are wonderful and you'll hear me say that over and over again, but they're nervous. And so Yvonne was working with them during the delayed opening professional development day, and I think we have someone who will write K2, but again, K2 is not controversial, right? So, we may have someone who will step up and write grades 3 to 5. We do have someone who's going to revise the curriculum that's in 6 and 7. We have no one for the 9-12. So our position with the teachers are, if you want to control what's taught and make sure that we're representing what Kinnelon believes in our understanding of what's best for kids, then step up and write the curriculum and choose the resources, because then you have control over what's happening. And so I won't be here anyway, but even if I was, I'm not an expert on, well, I taught reproduction because I was a biology teacher, but I'm not really an expert on health and physical education in the way the standards are. Yvonne was a literacy specialist, so we rely on our health and PE teachers to be the ones to make those decisions with the supervisors. So the way we write curriculum now is one of our supervisors gets assigned to oversee the curriculum. The curriculums the standards are unpacked during the school year. The teachers are unpacking the standards and understanding what those standards mean. Then they'll sit down and write a scope and sequence, which is already happening. And then from that scope and sequence, the teachers will write curriculum over the summer, and they have interim dates where they have to submit it to the supervisor that's revised, that would be giving the advice and making revisions. Then it would come before the board after it gets approved by the supervisor that's in charge of overseeing it. It comes to the board for approval. And generally, the board doesn't review our curriculum. They are most welcome to look at this one and pick it apart. We did get the guidance from the Department of Education that indicates that there is locally adopted instructional materials that should be applied to the district curriculum. And current standards, it should be medically accurate, developmentally and age appropriate, and developed and selected through meaningful ongoing consultation with the school community, including parents. To be clear, any report indicating that this is further clarifies. There's some other misinformation out there that the Department of Ed has chosen a vendor and instructional materials and enforcing it on districts. Not true. That's not true at all. So they also don't look at specific lesson plans, and so that's all stuff that we can do internally. And they did clarify that anything in the standards that's in parentheses is a suggestion. We don't have to use those terms. So we do have flexibility, and I'm sure our director of curriculum, I have faith that she will exercise the best judgment in the area.
And just to clarify, this doesn't have to be in place to be taught this September.
Yeah, yes, this.
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought I heard
Okay,
you.
that's 2023.
Did I say 2022? Oh, 2022, I'm sorry.
Okay,
No, this September.
yeah. Yeah, and thank you, it was said a couple times, this is only my second meeting, so my name's not even on the website.
It is now.
Thank you. But I've been reading the things that are available, so you have the current curriculums up there. The standards are available, the current standards are available, and it's gonna be a very full summer with everything that we've got going.
How about what?
But we normally have, it's just,
just moved because of testing.
is testing going on.
Exams this week?
Just what,
Right.
I just had a quick question myself about the timeline for everything. I know that we're putting together the advisory committee. Is that like, because I think I'm not quite sure about Jen's question myself, is that committee going to meet with the people that are writing it like ahead of time, or are they just meeting like once it's written to go over it?
The committee's not gonna meet with the teachers. The teachers are afraid. Oh, yeah, Yvonne will be a part of it, yes. That would be the teachers.
Oh.
Yeah, so no, but yes, the supervisors will be asked to sit on the committee, so will Yvonne, Mrs. Cerisi, I should say, the Director of Curriculum and Instruction. And hopefully we can, as we've been talking about, there's a lot going on right now. So we will try to get it up and running. I'm gonna send out a second survey, but I have to read 95, 94, possibly 92 maybe responses and organize that. It's a lot, so I will do my best to get it done so we can have the meetings over the summer.
I'm sorry, I have one more follow-up. What happens if we don't have it ready in time? Like, is there a penalty for that, or?
Yes. So we are monitored every 3 years through a process called the Quality Single Accountability Continuum, or QSAC. And you have to make 80% of the points available. So the bulk of those points, or much of those, not the bulk, but a lot of those points come out of curriculum and instruction, obviously, because we're a school district. So if you don't have your curriculum aligned to the most current standards, when your QSAC, when you get a verb, then you lose points. And the district drops below 80% on their score for this monitoring. You have to do like jump through hoops with an action plan, and there's a lot that happens. They're not going to really challenge your state aid, but they could. There's a lot of things that could be rolled out as a result of not meeting the standard of QSAC. Anything else? Right, I've never not met it either. So yeah, I've never not gone for like 100%. So I'm not really sure what happens, but I did check with the county superintendent, and he's like, there's a big action plan that you have to publicize that you didn't make it. And we don't generally even have to be QSAC in Kennewauk because we're a high achieving school, so we've been waived out of it since 2012. But they just changed the process, so everybody has to go through it once. So even though we're still high achieving, we do have to go through it this year. And after that, it would probably be definitely 3 years after that before we're monitored. But even in off monitor years, when they don't come on site to look at our materials, we have to certify a statement of assurance and do our own rating. So we have to be honest in that as well. So we can lose points every year if we're not up to date with our curriculum. You know what, I will open the poll, I'll open it again, because it's closed now, and if you would like to throw your name in, we did have one student choose to register as a community member with no children in the district.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, okay, sure.
okay, board member comments. Mrs. Fishbeck, welcome back. You can go first.
Thank you. Congratulations to Claire and Braden for being our